How in the world can I get an H-1B visa? Well, if that's the question on your mind, then this is the video that you need to watch, because I'm going to walk you through the steps that you need to know in order to be successful and gain yourself an H-1B visa. Hi, and thank you for joining me to talk immigration. My name is Andrea Chev, and I'm the managing attorney at Chev Law Group in Los Angeles, California. I've been doing immigration law for almost 20 years now, and I put together a ton of videos for you on this channel so you can get clear, concise, and easy to understand information on all types of immigration topics. So if you like this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you're notified every time a video comes out. And also, do not forget to follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram and Facebook, posting stuff all the time so you can get fast, up-to-date information on all different kinds of immigration issues that come up. Now, let's get to the question of how in the world can I get an H-1B visa? Okay, the first and foremost thing that you need to have in order to get an H-1B visa is a university degree that is equivalent to a U.S. university degree. And that degree needs to line up with the type of job that you're working in the U.S. For example, you can't go and get a job as a software engineer if you have a history degree. So the degree that you have must line up with the job that you're trying to get in the United States. Now, if you don't have a university degree, there is other alternatives of gaining an equivalency to a university degree. And I have a whole other video that goes through equivalencies and how those work. But basically, you have to have 12 years of work experience, progressive work experience, in order to qualify to equate that to a university degree. And that experience, again, needs to be in the area that you're going to be working on the H-1B visa. Next, and really important, is you need to find a U.S. employer, and a U.S. employer that is willing to file the petition on your behalf to get an H-1B. Now, the H-1B process is not completely impossible to do, but it does take a commitment from the U.S. employer, and it does take time, and it does take money to go through the process. So look for an employer in the U.S. and get a job offer from one that is willing to actually sponsor you and go through the process of gaining your H-1B. Next, you want to make sure that the job offer that U.S. employer is providing you is in line with the degree that you have. Like I said before, you can't get a software engineering job with a history degree. So you must make sure that the degree that is required for that job is the degree that you have. And if you don't have that degree, you have the work experience equivalency to the U.S. degree. Next, that job that they're offering you needs to be a job that normally requires someone with at least a minimum of a bachelor's degree, a four-year university degree. And then your actual university degree has to line up with the requirements for that job. The job for an H-1B visa needs to be a professional position. It needs to be a position that in the normal world, an employer would always require someone that has, at a very minimum, a bachelor's degree. And the bachelor's degree is going to be in the field that is usually normally required for that job. And then lastly, like we said at the beginning, your degree needs to line up with that job offer and the requirements that it has. Now we have to make sure that the job that's being offered to you, that's a professional job that requires a degree, has the appropriate salary. The Department of Labor requires for an H-1B the job to have an appropriate salary that they call a prevailing wage for that position. So your employer, and you, if you want, can go and make sure that whatever job they're offering you meets the prevailing wage that the Department of Labor in the United States requires. So make sure when you're offered that job that that's checked before you pursue the H-1B. Okay, now that we have confirmed that you have the proper university degree, equivalent to the U.S. bachelor's degree, we've confirmed that you have a U.S. employer that's willing to sponsor you for a professional position that requires your degree, and the job salary is good with the prevailing wage for the Department of Labor. Now what happens? Well, now the employer must register with USCIS to enter the H-1B lottery. The H-1B lottery happens every March, April, end of March, beginning of April, and they select a certain amount of people to actually apply, or employers to apply for the H-1B. So if you've met all the criteria we've already talked about, you have the employer, you have the university degree, you have the proper job, now the employer must register with USCIS and get picked in the lottery. If they are picked in the lottery, then they can proceed with filing the petition on your behalf to get the H-1B. Now, this happens every year in the end of March, beginning of April. Then you must file, or you, not you, the employer, must file the H-1B petition with USCIS. If it is approved, then you can begin working usually October 1 of that year. So make sure you get the dates correct, because just because you get an offer and just because you can apply for an H-1B visa doesn't mean you can start immediately. You'll have to wait till October 1st of that year. There are exceptions to that, like if you're already on an H-1B and you're changing employers, or you qualify under some exception to having to be in the lottery. Those are alternatives. But in a normal situation, when you're applying for the first time for an H-1B visa, you have to go through the lottery process, have to be chosen, and then you can't start working once chosen. Once the petition is filed and it's approved, you can't start working till October 1st of that year. Okay, I hope that gave you a great framework to get your head around how to get an H-1B visa. There are such coveted visas out there, and there's so few that are given every year. I mean, we only allow up to 85,000 new H-1Bs every single year. And last year there was an exorbitant amount of filings. But don't be discouraged. You want to make sure that you have the proper degree. You want to get a U.S. employer that's willing to help you. You want to make sure the job is a professional job that requires your degree, and make sure the salary is the appropriate salary. That's all you can do. And then your employer will have to try to get picked in that lottery. If you don't get picked that year, you can always try again next year if the employer is willing. I hope this helped you. And if you have any questions, don't be afraid to write in the comments below. We try to get to all the comments and answer all your questions, or reach out to us. Reach out to us on social media, send us an email, go to our website and check it out, and then send us a consultation, and we'll talk one-on-one about your particular situation. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and we look forward to talking to you next time. Have a great day.